In this lesson, we'll be going through some basic jazz independence exercises by taking the swing cymbal beat, or the jazz ride cymbal beat, and playing some triplet comping patterns underneath it on the snare drum. All right, so the patterns themselves are very simple. There's only 7 patterns that you have to learn for this exercise, and they're extremely simple patterns. They're very short patterns because they're based on just all the different ways that you can play a triplet. So you take your 3 notes of a triplet. The first pattern is just to play the first note. Second pattern is just play the second note of the triplet. Third pattern, you just play the third note of the triplet. Next pattern, you play the first 2 notes of the triplet. Next, you play the second 2 notes of the triplet. And last, you play the, not quite last, the 6th pattern is you play the first and the third note of the triplet. And lastly, you play all 3 notes in the triplet. All right, so those are the 7 different patterns you have to learn. I'm sure you've basically memorized them already if you get the pattern that's happening here. So what we'll be doing is taking all 7 patterns and applying them underneath the swing cymbal beat in this lesson. All right, so what I'll do first is play them on the practice pad just with a really slow and strong count, just so you can get used to where they land in the bar. Pattern 1, first triplet only. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Pattern 2, second triplet only. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Pattern 3, third triplet only. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Pattern 4, first 2 triplets. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Pattern 5, second 2 triplets. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Pattern 6, first and third triplet. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Pattern 7, all 3 triplets. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Alright, so those are your 7 patterns. Again, they're very simple, very straight ahead. Now it's just a matter of applying them underneath the swing cymbal beat. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to keep the tempo really slow though, because this is all just about locking the time and locking where these patterns fall underneath the cymbal beat. Again, so our jazz cymbal beat is going to be playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and hi-hats on 2 and 4. Okay, we're going to play the full swing cymbal beat and just play each of these patterns underneath it. So what I'll do for just the demonstration is I'll play a bar of time, and I'll play each pattern twice, and then another bar of time, then I'll move on to the next pattern. Alright, so that's the main idea for this lesson. I just want you to mainly focus on taking those 7 patterns and locking them in against the ride cymbal pattern and just getting used to how it sounds and how it feels to play each pattern against that cymbal pattern, where the sticks hit together and where they don't hit together. And at this stage, you would have noticed that we're playing all 4 beats with the same pattern. Okay, like every single beat has the same pattern being played in the left hand. And that's just to get you used to the patterns, but we don't normally play a whole lot of that when playing jazz. You might do it when playing a shuffle or some other groove playing, but we kind of normally keep the time open, play a whole lot of cymbal time, and just throw 1 or 2 of these patterns in to create musical phrases, okay, to interact with the music. So what I'll do, in future lessons we'll expand on this, but right now I'll give you a quick sample of different ways you can combine a few of these patterns to create musical phrases. So here we go. Alright, so that was made up of patterns 1, 1, 6 and 3, right, in your 4 beats of the bar. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Alright, so you see how it works. We're just combining the patterns back to back to create a new rhythm. Let's do a different one. Let's do 3, 3, 3, then 1. Alright, I'll demonstrate a few more combinations for you, but at this stage I've got to introduce the 8th pattern, which is just to play a rest on one of the beats. Right? And I actually call that pattern 0, because we're doing nothing, we're doing a whole lot of 0 in that beat. And then so we could play a rest or any of the 7 patterns that we've learnt. And in this first combination we're going to be playing a 0, a 1, then a 5, then a 0. Okay, next pattern, 7, 1, 3, 0. Next combination, 1, 3, 0, 0. And the last combination, 0, 1, 5, 4. Alright, so you can hear how just placing these patterns back to back and in different combinations, different positions in the bar, it creates a totally unique musical phrase every time. And that's the idea. We want to be able to practice these patterns individually, then combine them in short bursts and use them as musical phrases in your comping. So what I'll do is just do a bit of improv with these patterns. I'll just start off sparse and link a few of the patterns together to create some improvised musical phrases. Okay, so that's it for this lesson, and if you got through it, you got through a really decent introduction to what it is to improvise in the jazz language. And in future lessons we'll be doing even more combinations of the patterns we learned today, plus applying those patterns to bass drum and hi-hat as well as snare drum. Okay, and then using all three to create musical phrases, and it gets quite fun and interesting at that stage. All right, so check those lessons out when you get a chance. You can get the PDF worksheet for this lesson and every lesson that I do at my website, sachakdrums.com. So thanks for watching.